next, Mayor Wilder?
I think to the extent that we outline that we can't cut services, we can't eliminate those who've not been through the door. We can't be satisfied with where we are because we haven't done it. We've turned a page. But I'll say this, much of this has occasioned with this new form of government. It's only been 3 years. It's not been long enough for a test. I've always said I didn't want to be measured after 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. Measure that after the end of the 4-year period of time to see if it was successful or not. I feel good about it, but I don't feel as good as I'd like to feel.
There's room for growth.
Oh yes, much growth.
Definitely.
Very good.
So we have some funding, we cut back on the spending, and we managed to save the city some money.
Yeah, and the crime thing, I can't tell you enough about how good that is. I was in Cincinnati last night campaigning for Barack Obama, and I saw the chief of police out there, and he said, "Hey, how are you doing?" He said, "You got my friend down there, Rodney Monroe." I said, "You know about Rodney?" He said, "Oh yes, give him my regards." I said, "He's doing a great job." He said, "I know, I've read about him in the U.S. Conference of Mayors report." And so it's good to feel that and to hear that, but Chief Monroe can't do it by himself. He needs to have the continued help of the support of the people of Richmond, and they are doing that. None of this could be done without these people cooperating, calling, willing to testify, identifying criminals when they see things take place, and not being afraid to come out and say, "Look, we're going to take our neighborhoods back." You can't have a better example than a guy who was a cadet himself, and he graduated from the cadet program in Washington, D.C., went on to be chief. That's why he put into place, we inaugurated a cadet program here in the city of Richmond for our youngsters to go into being that chief of police.
Chief of police. And in fact, later today, all 12 sectors of the city, lieutenants and Richmond police officers, they're going to hit all of the sectors, knocking door to door just to play catch up with the community.
And all of those people in the community know their police officers, know their leaders, and they know the sector. So great, very good.
All right. Richmond Mayor L. Douglas Wilder, thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Always good, dear.
All right. I'm Miss Community Clovia, and it's Community Conversation. We're back. It's Community Conversations. I'm Miss Community Clovia, and here with me is my very special guest, L. Douglas Wilder, Mayor of the city.
Darling, always good to be with you. And I tell you, I get so many nice comments about people that listen to your show and listen to this show particularly. And they say, "We like the fact that you come on there." I say, "Well, we'll stay."
Well, thank you so much. I mean, you know, we want to deal with the facts, you know, with the challenges within the city when we're talking about money. Like you said, it takes money to run a city, and with all of the issues that we have and the good stuff, you know, public safety, crime is down within the city. We have 12 sectors in the city, and if you want to move into a city, you want to be safe.
Yeah.
So we're the #1 leader in that. Then Aspen Incorporated.
Yeah.
We were competing against New York, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and I was at the press conference, and this guy said, Virginia or Richmond has some of the nicest people in the world.
He certainly did.
And they chose Richmond. So they're going to be building on the Jeff Davis Highway Corridor.
Right.
So that sends volumes to, you know, the direction of our city, and we're pressing toward the mark of excellence. So I commend you for that.
Well,
if it's bad news, it's on you.
Well, I don't mind that. I think
if it's good news, it's on you.
Like I said, the job requires you to do what you got to do, and if you can't stand the heat, you got to get out of the kitchen.
And if you've never run anything, don't even try to run.
You've got to have had some experience. That was the problem with Richmond before. We had a very nice guy as the city manager, a personal friend of mine. I liked him, but he had never any experience in running anything, and consequently, the city council ran him around. The city council hadn't had any experience in many instances in running.
What are some of the qualifications for mayor?
Leadership ability, strength, and knowledge about how money is spent. Spending taxpayers' money like you spend your own. Don't waste it. Don't throw it away. Demanding results. Being able to demand what is right, to criticize what is wrong, and not be concerned at all about re-election. Do what you got to do. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, let the people do what they got to do.
If you seek a second term as mayor or not, what is next for Mayor Doug Wilder?
I've still got a plate loaded now. The Slavery Museum, as you know, I'm working on that. I'm still at Virginia Commonwealth University, teaching there in the fall semesters. The school has been named for me up there, so I owe it something, not just something, quite a bit. And then I have a couple of grandkids that I like to spend a little more time with, and I don't see that the job is finished here in the city of Richmond yet. So I still will be a voice one way or the other as to what's going on in the city of Richmond. So it might very well be that I would be coming on your show to make an announcement.
Right now. You know I'm going to love that.
I heard.
Because you know I'm mainstream media. Thank you very much, Richmond Mayor L. Douglas Wilder, for joining us on the show today. It's Community Conversations. I'm